So we're going to go over how to lead a memory care class, and we're going to talk about the room setup, how to introduce yourself and meet the people, some cues, equipment to use, and we'll go over some exercises too. Let me just minimize this. All right. Okay, so we can get right into it. I don't think we need introductions. You're all trainers for Jayfish Fitness, and you know we're getting more and more requests for memory care classes. I know a few of you are doing them. Some of you you're doing it really well. It's a hard class to lead, and really it takes a lot of high energy, but sometimes quiet high energy is good. So I just want to see if anyone else came on here. Nope, not yet. Okay, so I just want to take an hour. I've got a lot to go over. I'm going to send you out some links to some good YouTube videos that might be helpful. There's a lot of bad stuff on YouTube too. There's a lot of good stuff, and I have a few links that I like. Really, any silver sneaker exercises you can modify for this population. I have some videos on YouTube that I'll send you the links to those too. And okay, I need to send. Someone lost the link. Hold on. Hi, Julian. Let me. Do you have the email that I sent out the other day? Oh yeah, I didn't put it on the calendar. Just link to that email that I sent. It doesn't have the link. Oh boy. Okay. Let me see, because I have the class going on my computer now, so I'm not sure. I didn't want to lose that. Let me send it out again. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, that was somebody lost the link. So I'm going to pause this for a minute and resend that to her. Okay, so you're all going to get the link again. And it looks like somebody else is missing the link too. Okay, I think we're all here now. All right. So where I was explaining how we're getting a lot more memory care classes requests. And let me go over the setup of the room first. Now, when you go into a small group, and I have classes that have 15 people in them, and they're set up stadium style, so there's one person, rows of people. That's even more difficult to work with. You preferably you'd have a U shape so you can stand in the middle, or even a circle, and you can work with a circle and sit at the end and then stand in the middle when you need to. So that's the preferred setup. A lot of places don't have the room for that, so they set it up in rows in stadium style. So you have to deal with whatever community is that you're working with. Music is important. I use muscle mixes, and I'll send this will all be in the information that I send you, and Silver Sneaker music, and that seems to work well. We have an instructor that is very successful with this population, and she has everybody, she makes up her own playlist. So if you feel creative and want to make up a playlist, you can do that. She has people tell her a favorite song, and she puts all those songs together and plays that. And people will recognize when their song comes on. So that it's kind of a fun thing to do. These classes are best if everybody's seated too. So you want it to set up in a circle. Everyone should stay seated, and really seated kind of far back in their chair. I don't do a lot of exercises where people scoot out to the end of the chair, like a crunch or anything like that. We want people to sit back in their chair, maybe get their back off the chair and sit tall, but not at the edge of the seat. So that's how you want your room set up and your music. And then when you come in, you want to introduce yourself every time. And I'll say, my name's Joe. And if it's a small group, if you only have 4 or 5 people, you can go up to each one and introduce yourself and ask them what would they like to be called. You know, sometimes they want to be called Mrs. Smith. Sometimes they have a nickname that they want to be called. And if you can, try to remember their names. It means a lot to them if you can say their names to them. So you introduce yourself, try to remember their names, thank them for joining today, and explain to them that they can do whatever they want. Do whatever they're comfortable doing. Listen to their bodies. And if they don't feel like participating in a certain exercise, they don't have to. Just enjoy the music. Sometimes there might be a few that are asleep when you start the class. Later on in the class, they'll wake up, and a few more at the end of the class. I always have a few nodding off when we're stretching. So you know, whatever they're ready to do that day, everybody's different. You can explain that to them. Everyone's different, so just do what you can and listen to your bodies and enjoy the class. For equipment, let's go over equipment. I use whatever's available. Some locations have noodles. I'll sometimes bring, this is a pipe cover that you buy at Home Depot, and you can cut it into 2.5 or 3 foot lengths. The pool noodles are actually better, and some locations have pool noodles cut into 2.5 or 3 foot lengths because they're colorful. These are kind of dull, but you can use a noodle, balls, light weights. I have one location that I train in uses 1 pound weights. Everybody gets 1 pound weights. Sometimes people say, I want a 4-pound or a 5-pound weight, but we don't have those. 1-pound weights are good. Some people might have difficulty holding a weight, so they can just do with no weights. I think most places don't, most memory care communities don't use weights. We just do the same exercise as using our body weight, just using your arms. If they have weights, feel free to use them, whatever you're comfortable with. Inflated balls. Most places have inflated balls, and some have this really neat, I don't have them here, but it has nubs on it. It's a tactile ball and it's smaller than this. This is a Silver Sneaker ball, if you're familiar with Silver Sneakers. But they can hold it in one hand, which is good, and it's a little sticky. So balls, inflated balls are great. Bands. You can use, I don't use bands in my class, but if you're comfortable using bands, you can do chest stretches over the head. You can put them under the feet. The reason I don't use bands is because I always worry that someone's not going to have it under the ball of their foot or under their arch. It might slip off. But if you're comfortable using bands, the only thing, if you use a TheraBand, be careful that people don't wrap it around and pull and shut off the circulation to their hands. So some places have bands with handles, which won't shut off the circulation, but sometimes they're too long. They're good for under the foot, but if you're seated, that's going to be difficult. So whatever you normally do with the band, if you're comfortable using bands, you can, feel free to use those. And body weight. Everything can be done with your body weight. We use beach balls in some of my classes. Small inflatable beach balls. So ask around. You can ask the attendants or the nursing assistants. You can ask them what equipment they have, or just say, do you have a beach ball? Some places have, I think it's called a memory ball. It has questions on it, and it's a little big, but a beach ball is ideal, and it's light enough that they can kick it with their feet. They can hit it with a noodle, and you can also bring balloons. Balloons are good. They can tap those to each other. They can kick them. A small balloon. It can be a lot of fun. One other thing, let me make sure no one else came on here. Yep, that's that. One other thing that you can use in some classes are paper plates. Now, if you use paper plates, you put them on the floor to slide. I think you've all probably seen this one time or another. The difficult part is if you have a big crowd, you have to put the plates under everyone's foot. And then they can slide in and slide out one at a time. Then you can put your heel on. I have my toe on. You can put your heel on and slide. Now it's a great lower body exercise. And there's a video on how to use the plates for your upper body too. Using wind resistance really for bicep curls. But that can be a challenge. The plates can be a challenge. If you have a frail group, it's going to be difficult for them to keep the pressure on the plate so that it moves. They aren't strong enough to press down sometimes if their legs are weak, or even to lift their foot up to put it on the plate. So that's something to think about. You can use it. when you learn your group, like I have a fairly fit group, everybody, they all have dementia, but they're pretty fit. And there's about 10 of them, and we can use the plates. Takes a while to set it up, and it takes a while to take them back, to collect them. But if you want to bring some paper plates and try slides, that's great. And like I said, there's a video that has some paper plate ideas on it. You know, let's go over cues. So that's the equipment that we can use, and be creative. Use whatever you want to use. You know, I think, oh, silk scarves. Some people use silk scarves. I don't do that, but I think that's on one of the videos, and it's good for upper body motion, going back and forth, and it's fun, and it's colorful. It's colorful for them to look at. They might even feel the breeze going by. So that's something that you can use. Cues. Let's go over some cues. How to cue this population. You need to speak slowly, and we're all going to be wearing masks. So you have to speak loud enough that they can hear you through the mask. And sometimes he'll tell you, I've had people say, I can't hear you, and I'll speak a little louder. I'll tell them I'll speak a little louder. Visual cues are very good. So if we're doing a seated exercise, upper body, I'll say, so I want to do reverse flies. So I want to go like this. So I think, what is that action? And say, let's open up the cabinet doors. So opening up the cabinet doors, and then reaching up into the cabinet for an overhead press. So I'll do reaching up maybe first 8 times, and then open up the cabinet doors, the reverse flies 8 times. And then we can put it together. Let's open up the doors and reach in. Open the doors, reach in. So that's what I mean by visual cues. If you can think of an action that they'll understand, and you're still getting that exercise in. You can count out loud, and ask them, say, count with me. And you're going 1, 2. Sometimes you can do a 12 count, and you can do months, and this helps them cognitively to get the brains working here. January, February, and I know one trainer counts the months backwards. So I may have difficulty counting the months, December, November. But it gets their brains working, and it actually gets them thinking, and it's good for them. So that's the cues. You want to talk slowly, talk so that they can understand you, and use visual cues. So here's another one for a military press. You can say, let's show off your muscles. Up and down and flex, and up and down and flex. You can do things like that. A basketball, you can reach out, pass the basketball, bring it back, pass it, bring it back. Then you can shoot and shoot. And then you can pass and shoot, and pass and shoot. So those are all complexes, because you're doing 1 8 times. We're doing the pass 8 times, and we're doing the shoot 8 times. Let's do the triceps for the shoot, and then you can combine it: pass and shoot, pass and shoot. So those are some cue ideas. And we can get into the exercises now, I think. So a dynamic warm-up would be the beginning. So we're going to do a dynamic warm-up. We're going to do stretches. Sometimes I leave the stretches out, but I think it's a good idea to just throw those in. Then we're going to do back exercises with a row. And we're going to do upper leg exercises with a bicycle. Then I don't know if you all have the SAIL exercises, SAIL, but they're basic exercises. They're that reaching into the cabinet, the lateral extensions, forward raises. You know, for the lateral, if they're too close together, just keep their elbows, just put their elbows up. You're still getting that shoulder blade exercise. You know, bicep curls. And seated with arms on the chair, it's difficult to do tricep extensions, but the kickbacks, but you can do them. For the bicep curls seated, if they have arms on the chair, I have them put their arms on their legs and just go up and down. It's a limited range of motion, but it will still get the job done. So we're going to do exercises. Let's say the row, saying the basic SAIL exercises. And then we're going to alternate upper and lower exercise complexes, really. And you can do that by doing just your upper exercises, then maybe getting the ball and doing a whole group of exercises with the ball, doing upper, and then putting the ball between your legs and lower. And we'll go over some of those exercises. Let's go with the upper exercises first. So I already talked about reaching in, and I think an 8 count is very good here. So 1, 2, 3, up to 8, and then open the door with the reverse flies, up to 8, and then combine them. Up, or open the door, and up, and again, 8 count. And the same with the basketball pass, and shoot. You know, pass 8 times, shoot 8 times, then combine them. Boxing, it's a lot of fun. And you can fool around with this. You can say, don't hit your neighbor, don't hit each other. But you can, well, jab. You can jab with one hand 8 times, then jab with the other hand 8 times, then jab 8 times together, alternating. And you can cross. So this gets the chest. Cross, across. So you can cross with one arm. You might want to do 5 of those and then 5 of the other arm because the shoulder's going to get tired. And then alternate, cross, cross, cross. You can throw in a karate kick, ha, and ha, just to get some lower body, let the upper body rest. Maybe you do 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then alternate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do, then you can put them all together. Jab, jab, cross, cross. Oh, I left out the uppercut. Uppercut, uppercut, karate kick, karate kick. You can take that's a good exercise. You're hitting a lot of good muscles, and it can take 5 minutes to go through that whole complex. Another part of that is just going like this, called a speed bag. maybe 10 times forward, 10 times backward. Tell them, don't hit yourself in the nose. So that's the boxing ideas. Those are 3 good ones for the upper body, just using your body weight. And that's after you've already done the reach in the cabinet and the bicep curls and the kickbacks. So then we would go to the lower body and do leg extensions. Remember, they're sitting back in the chair, so they're going to go up and down, maybe 5 times or 8 times. Starting out with a class, you might want to do 5. So it's going to be between 5 and 8. And if you see that everyone can do 5 easily, the next class you could go up to 8 or go up to 6 or 7. So it can be progressive strength training, which is what we want to do. So leg extensions on one side, leg extensions on the other side, and then alternate. Knee raises. So bring the knee up, try to keep the leg at 90 degrees. This is for the hip, and up. And the other side, 5 times. And then we can go up and out. Like a dance move, like a rockette, up and out. And then you can alternate up and out, up and out. So use that complex. We're using the same legs, the same muscles, but we're doing it different ways and in different repetitions, different number of repetitions. A good one for when we get lower. Well, of course, the toe raises 10 times and heel raises 10 times. And then maybe a heel out and back, heel out and back. Good, 5 times on that side, 5 times on the other side, up, and back, and out, and back. And then the toe in and out, in, and I'm just putting my foot flat. I'm not doing heel to toe yet. Let's get one thing at a time in the same leg. I'm not alternating. Toe in, toe down, toe in, foot down. 5 times on that side. Then let's go heel, toe, and then heel, toe. And you can do this to music. This could be part of a dance 5 times. And then, if they can, alternate. Out, 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 and in, out, and in, out, in, out, and in. So that's another complex for the lower legs. Remember, I started with the toes up, and everyone loves happy feet too. Now, well, I shouldn't say everybody. I did have one person that it bothered. The noise bothered when everybody was on the hard floor. So, you have to think of that. If it bothers somebody, if the noise, if they say stop, then you have to respect that. We want to include everybody in these exercises. We don't want anyone to feel not included or that they're not going to have fun. We want everybody to have fun doing these exercises. Okay, some whole body exercises. You can do, I like with the ball and with the range of motion exercises. So most places will have balls. If you work if you're working for us at a community that you want some equipment, like if you want bands, if you want noodles, if you want balls, let me know and I'll talk to the directors and see if it's in their budget. We'll find a way to get that equipment for you if there's any equipment that you want. Some you can bring yourself, like the paper plates, feel free to bring those yourself. They probably won't provide paper plates because with the pandemic, they were using paper plates like every meal and they had to throw them away. And so that was part of that. That was a big hit in the budget. They probably won't give us paper plates to play with, to exercise with. And another thing with the paper plates, the people that have been eating off of them for the past 18 months may want to take them back to their apartment with them. They may want to keep them. So things to think about with the paper plates. But most places will have a ball. Will have inflated balls, and we can get those. Scarves is another one. If you want to get some scarves at the dollar store and do dances with those, feel free to bring any equipment that you're comfortable using to the class. So the complex I use, I go from the head down. I shine up our halo. So with this, I would do about 8 in each direction. So we always want to unwind. And you can make jokes, just be fun with this. Just shine up your halo, get the dust off it, and then reach out and stir a pot. So it's the same motion, but we're going in and out. And then the other direction. Always unwind. Once you've wound up, always unwind. And then I'll go to the legs and we'll do a squeeze with the legs. And squeeze and relax. This is for the adductor muscles. So some people put it between the knees, some people put it between the thighs. It really doesn't matter. It's whatever they're comfortable with. In the squeeze, you might do that 8 or 10 times. And remember, so maybe doing it 8 times is good because you might want them to count with you. I forgot that we're trying to get them to participate and to count with you. So 3, 4, you can say, count with me, and a few will, and then a few more will, and that gets them, that keeps them active, it keeps them alert to what you're doing. So the ball. And then I do the same thing with the hands. These are isometric exercises. I say, hold it in the palm of your hand, put it on your belly button, bring it up to your chest, and squeeze. 1, and then relax and go down. And squeeze. 2. This is a chest and bicep exercise. And then we can do wood chops over the shoulder, down. And you may have exercises that you do with assisted living groups, and you do the other side, that work for you. I mean, there are tons of different exercises. I'm just giving you a few here. And you can get a lot of ideas on YouTube or watching Silver Sneaker YouTube videos. I like to do a toss. Some of them have a really difficult time with the eye-hand coordination. So just toss it a couple of inches. If someone wants to show off and clap, toss and clap.
The sound was not really working right, so
did I freeze up?
the Zoom on my phone. How was Helen?
Oh, good.
I'm like listening. I'm not participating. That's why I'm muted. But
It's quite big.
I just wanna make
yeah,
sure
she's almost 4 now, right?
I think Joanne has to mute.
yeah, Joanne?
She was wearing a uniform shirt.
Very nice.
Figured you
No, it's not
No,
me.
it's Angela. Sorry, I think it's somebody else.
bridge died apparently.
I'm here by myself.
Yes. Okay.
There we
I
go.
muted. Hello? Can you all hear me? All right. Okay. So the eye-hand coordination and You know, sometimes it depends on the group. If they want to put it between their feet, but then they have to lean forward, so that isn't really a good idea. That's a good idea for maybe assisted living, put it between their feet and raise their feet up. And I even have them do eye-foot coordination, but not with this group. With the memory care group, we don't want them leaning forward because they could fall out of the chair. So just things, the whole body, Russian twist to the side, hold the ball right in front of you, reach up into a cabinet. A lot of the same exercises that we did with the weights, you can duplicate again, reach out. If the balls are small enough to hold in one hand, they can hug a tree, reach out, so you're doing a fly and stretching the chest muscles and strengthening and flexing the back muscles. There are so many exercises you can do with the ball. If you have a list of them, you can take up a lot of the class, and it is great for the range of motion. Even putting it over the head, if it's a good enough group, over the head, tricep extensions, up and down. If that's uncomfortable for them, I always have a modification. If that's uncomfortable for you, just put your arms in front and go up and down. But if you can get your hands behind your back, go up and down, keep your elbows close to your head, and press, and that's for the triceps. And again, they can count with you. If you don't want to, if they don't want to count, have them say up and down, up and down, and get them involved. Try to get them to do the exercises with you. With the noodles, you can do a lot of the same things. Now you can duplicate. You can duplicate the exercises that you did with the weights. You can reach into the cabin. You can reach into the cabin with the noodles. You can do bicep curls with the noodles. You can hold it out front and bend it. You know, you're Superman. Bend. So we're doing this motion now. Bend. You can bend up. There's a lot you can do with the noodles. You can tap your toe, raise your toe, hold the noodle up. Lower body. So the noodles, I'm finding the noodles are a lot of fun. The pool noodles, especially if they have pool noodles, they're colorful and everyone has a good time. You try not to hit each other with them, but sometimes you do. If you do have a beach ball, if you have a balloon, I didn't have my balloon or beach ball with me today, but you can toss a balloon up and they can try to hit it to each other. Now this works in the circle setup or the U-shaped setup. It doesn't work well with the stadium setup because it's whacking the person in front of them. But they're just going to go like that. And, you know, even I've done this with independent living communities, and they have a ball. They're standing up and they're hitting the balloon to each other, and it's a lot of fun. So you can use that with anyone. And the same on the ground. They can play hockey. They can hit the balloon, or the beach ball actually works better for this. Hit it, and if they don't want to hit it, they can kick it. So if they're set up in a U, they can kick it. You're constantly moving and try and keep the ball in play. But they can, I'll tell them, kick it to the person across from you, and it might get to the person across from them, it might not, and then I'll move it to someone else, and they'll kick it. So you have to keep the play going. So you have to be enthusiastic when you're playing these games, but they're all functional. Everything they're doing is using muscle and, really helping their range of motion. Those are whole body exercises. So, that's really about all I have. I can go through a class with you, but I have some final thoughts. And what you don't want, don't worry about anything that you do there. So you can't, be comfortable with the people and make sure that they're having a good time. But you need to be comfortable and remember that they're happy to see you. They're happy to have you come in. You could be the highlight of their week. Some people, you will get, it's so rewarding for us to work with this population. And they know that, they appreciate, they really appreciate it. So to see them smile, they might be having a difficult day, but if you can get them to smile, that's great. A lot of these people were, they might have been college professors or, doctors or lawyers, and at one time, brilliant minds, and they like to be recognized. They like that recognition then, and they still like to be recognized. So we want to make them feel special, and when they do an exercise, make them feel successful doing that exercise. So if you have to modify something for the whole class because one person's having difficulty, that's fine. We want everyone to be included and everyone to be successful. Remember to speak slowly, count out loud, have the participants count with you or even say the cues with you. Reach into the cabinet, open the doors. I always do that backwards. You have to open the doors, then reach into the cabinet. Okay. Try to remember their names and greet them. Tell them your name. To some of them, some of them will remember you, and some might not. So, and I have a really difficult time remembering people's names. I'll remember a couple, but I'll ask them when I get there, hi, I'm Joe. If it's a small group, if it's 4 or 5 people, hi, I'm Joe. What would you like me to call you today? And that always, it's kind of a sign of respect that I might, someone might want to be called Mrs. Jones or Peggy, with a nickname, and find out what they want to be called. And I think that'll help you remember the names. So, huge humor. You can say jokes to them. They'll get it. Dad jokes are pretty good. They get terrible dad jokes. Try to make each one feel special. Include everyone. Use the visual cues. You want to, when you're doing a movement, try to think what function would that have, and like shining your halo, a visual cue, and have fun. Have fun with the class. They're there. Like I said, they might be having a bad day, and you're the highlight of their day and maybe the highlight of their week. So have fun with them, and laugh. Some of the things at the beginning, I said a dynamic warm-up. I have a video. Let me just go over the beginning. A video of roll the arms. Now in the video, it might be a standing, but you can modify everything and roll the arms back. Do a hip twist. So this would be at the beginning of the class, the dynamic warm-up. Hip twist, and then up into a Y, up into an arm up, not a Y, up into arms up for the shoulder. We're stretching the shoulders and the shoulder blades, and then go into a Y. You go into a Y, then you go into a T. Now, if you have enough room, we don't want them hitting each other, and you can say, make a W. So these are classic stretches, you know, the Y, like a touchdown, the T, in the W. So you can do those. Then I march. We're just trying to get the blood flowing. This is the very beginning of the class after your introductions. And then maybe higher, stretching the hip, raising the knee up, and then out and back, gently out and back, slowly out and back, and out and back. And those that would be a warm-up and the stretches. And then I usually do, now this is a video that I have there. I usually do a row. But with this group, we can sing. I usually ask them, what song can we sing? We're going to go out in the lake and row our boat. What song can we sing? And usually they say, row, row, row your boat. So one gentleman said, Michael, row your boat to shore. And I don't know all the words to that. I said, that's a good pick, but let's do row, row, row your boat. So usually someone will start it. They'll just get into it. And you can do two verses of row, row, row your boat. And then you can tell them, okay, we made it to shore. Now let's get on a bike. And you can do some knee up, foot out and down, like a bike pedal on one side and then the other side. And then you can go both legs if they're comfortable doing that. You can do both legs. I always tell them, if you're comfortable doing the two legs, let's do it. But if you're not comfortable, just alternate one leg on the floor at a time. That, I consider all of that part of the warm-up. And then we get into the exercises, even though the rowing is a back exercise. Yeah, I consider all that part of the warm-up. So, okay, unmute yourselves. Do you have any questions?
I do, Joe.
Yeah.
I have a question. So do you have any ideas for balance? Because I do work in a memory care and not everybody can stand. A few people stand and hold a chair in front of them, but do you have it? Because a lot of times they want to work on balance. Do you have anything for seated or any modifications?
You're at Country Club Heights, Joanne?
No, I'm at Charlton Overlook.
Oh, Debbie, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So any
I
suggestions?
like to have everyone seated. So yeah, Overlook is, they're pretty fit
They are.
there. You have some, I think there's couples.
Yeah,
And
a few like to stand, but I didn't know if you had any suggestions for sitting and balance. I mean, I know that's kind of, or it looks like somebody has an answer for me. Jessica.
I tell everybody, you can do everything seated or standing. So that, to me, that's more of an assisted living group. And, but you're gonna be starting the daycare there too, right? Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, and they might be, you know, a different fitness level. But I tell everybody if we're doing balance and they're holding on to their chair, and we're doing heel to toe, like I'll do a staggered stance
Mhm.
on each side, and then I'll do heel to toe. So this is my balance
Mhm.
program, heel to toe, and depending on the group, we might go to 1 foot. I tell them to hold on to their chair because it's just practice. You know, they're working those muscles, they're working those the support muscles. And if they're seated, I tell them, because this is just practice, do the same thing. Let's do that staggered stance and press your feet into the ground. Do a heel to toe and press your feet into the ground and feel those muscles working. So they can do the same thing, but we want them to press into the ground. Go up on 1 foot, raise this leg off the chair, and press that 1 foot into the ground. So those stabilizer muscles are still activated. You know, it's not doing anything from the brain to the stabilizer muscle, but they're getting something out of it then. So if you have a group that half want to stand and half want to sit, that would work. I'd have them do the same motion in their seat.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, because I have about half and half. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's good. And as long as, you know, you just want to make sure that that they're holding on to the chair. I mean, I hold on, I tell them, you know, my fingers are just barely on the chair, like my fingers are on piano keys, not making any noise. So it's just that connection from my brain to my fingers so that my brain can relax and not worry about getting hurt. I tell them your brain has one job, to keep you alive. If it thinks you're doing something dangerous, it's not going to let you do it. So listen to your brain. Any other questions? So I hope this helped. And you'll email me if you have any questions. I'm going to send out those links, a copy of everything that we talked about. And, you know, again, it's a difficult group to work with, but they do look forward to you coming every week. Your angels, it's very rewarding, you know. You're their heroes when you show up. A lot of these people, no one comes to visit them. So if they see you every week, you're a special part of their family, you know, that comes to visit them every week. So, you know, what you do, thank you for what you do, and, you know, it's really special. Okay, that's all I have. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And bye-bye. Let me know if you have any questions. Just email me if you have any questions. I'll probably get back to you tomorrow. But yeah, and I'll send out what we reviewed right now to everybody.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Jeff.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Jeff.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Good seeing you all. Yeah.
Mhm.